Hello everyone, we are continuing on with our NHL season previews, and today we're talking about the Nashville Predators. Now before we start, please make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new, and if you want to support me along the way as I try to make my way towards doing this for a full-time career, and we will see. If you're on the fence, stick around for the video, maybe it will help you decide to stay. Anyway, let's talk about the Preds. The Nashville team was able to make the playoffs last season after a 45-30-7 campaign for a 97-point total, and they got a dance with the Colorado Avalanche in the first round after I basically flat out said I don't see Nashville making the playoffs last year. They were a surprise team for sure. That didn't go so well though once the postseason came around, but considering the Predators' expectations or hopes were to make the playoffs, I really just think that it was a good season for the fan base, even though they got swept, and that's just reality of it. Colorado, very good team. We know that already by now. So, after getting swept in the first round by the Avs, what should their storylines be for the Tennessee team, as well as their expectations, at least probably in my eyes? Well, there's many talk about this team, as they are going to be talking about the blue line, or I will be talking about the blue line, and their addition to it, that being the two-time Stanley Cup winner, Ryan McDonagh, and what he could bring to the table for the team. McDonagh was a previous player for the Tampa Bay Lightning, where he won 2 cups and was in a top role for a little over 4 seasons with the team and was a cap casualty. That just happens when you have cup expectations. Other guys that are more valuable or a little bit younger, etc., have to be signed, and then you just kind of go this way. And he was shipped off to Smashville, where it looks like he will try to help his new team get it back into the playoffs and possibly go on a run. Will he be able to do so? Well, quite possibly, as he's not the flashiest of blue liners, but certainly is a guy that could be trusted with a lot of minutes and could be a guy that helps out defensively. I don't know so much about offensively. I know he's not a big goal-scoring guy like Cale Makar or even new teammate Roman Josi, but he can still be a good player at even strength, and more importantly, last season was able to get the puck out of his end very well. I think Nashville had some struggles with that, or at least some of their players did, so if you can get a veteran guy that can get it out of your end, that comes to be valuable come playoff time. Now, he is currently projected to be on the first PK unit as well after having played the most minutes, a man down with the Bolts last season, so he's able to, or if he's able to help Nashville after they finished 18th in the league for PK percentage last year, then you'd be very happy with this. And a guy that's able to play 22 minutes a night that shuts down or limits opponents at even strength and on the power play, or I guess I should say on the PK, is something any fan would love to have on their team. Now, he's probably going to be an overpay for Nashville. We all know this in terms of overall value compared to what he is getting paid. But you look at where he's at as of right now, he wouldn't be overpaid, probably overpaid this year, I guess he would be, but next season is really going to be the season where he'll probably be overpaid, $8.4 million. But I think looking at this blue line, aside from McDonagh, it has some potential. You have Josi and McDonagh we've already talked about too a little bit, but you got Matthias Ekholm, who's been an underrated defenseman for a while, and there's potential young guys like Dante Fabro and Alex Carrier that could be a very good decor and to be better than expected, but let's see how it plays out. As for another storyline this year, we have to ask whether or not Matt Duchene and Philip Forsberg are going to be falling back down to earth after having such amazing seasons. Prior to last season, Duchene was only scoring 30-plus goals in a season twice, with his career high being 31 in the 2018-19 season. Got traded over to Columbus, and they had their little run against the Bolts. But he was able to have a career year this year with his shooting percentage going up to 18.9%, potting 43 goals to lead his team in this category. He had an expected goals total of about 29, so clearly he had a little bit more success than expected, but that does happen for some players more often than not. You think of McDavid, Matthews, better shooters tend to have a better goal total than their expected goal total because they're better. They're some of the best in the league, if not the best. And while I do see Duchene possibly being able to get better results than some previous years, I do think that his goals from the power play could be a concern from last season. He had 16 goals on the power play, shot like 25% on the man advantage, and from the map I could see from HockeyViz, this could be a big issue not only for him and the team, as he got just a lot of goals that probably shouldn't have happened on the man advantage. And if you are looking at the Predators, where they finished, I think, 6th for power play percentage last season, losing or having a guy that produced the most for you for the year before could be a big deal if he's not able to bury him like last season. And while I don't think he gets 45 goals this season, maybe if he could get 30 goals, that would be a good deal for him with the deal he's on. As for Forsberg, this season he had a great year. He had, I think it was 42 goals. Yes, it was. The season prior to that, he had 12 goals in 39 games, and this year was a good year for him as well. Of course, he had an expected goals total of 25, so there's some interesting numbers there. Like Duchesne, Forsberg's shooting percentage spiked this past season, but he was able to get good quality shots at 5-on-5 play, which could transition well for the Swede and his franchise with playoff aspirations. But considering the pair were in 2 of the top 4 goal scorers on the man advantage for this team this year, I really could see that become an issue for them. And then even strength, I mean, I just don't see them scoring 35 plus goals this season. I think I'd be shocked if both scored 30 on this campaign, but we'll see. Now, for the final storyline, we get to talk about the forward group. And I know we've already talked about the blue line and some of the forwards, but I want to talk about just the forward group in general. I think that it might be getting a little smitten with the idea of this team. Of course, they are looking to have another good season after having a turnaround year last year, and I think they're in a better position to do so. They got guys like Nino Niederreiter, Yakov Trenin, Tanner Jeannot, and Cody Glass. While these guys might not be the sexiest of names, you look at Nino, he's been an underrated goal scorer for the Hurricanes for a little bit. The Preds got him on a nice 2-year, $8 million deal, $4 million AAV. And then you got Trenin, who is coming off a 15-goal season, and if he's able to help out on the third line, that would be really appreciated with some growth that could help the team out in a top 9 role. Tanner Jeannot, of course, led all rookie scorers last season. He had 24 goals in 81 games. And then Cody Glass is a prospect that you know hasn't quite worked out just yet, but I think we're all hoping the best for him. And it's not easy being a player in the NHL, specifically talking about Cody Glass, let alone a former 6th overall pick, but maybe in a more quiet market with a less, heavy role, or maybe even just like a 4th line role for him. He could find his footing and become a future NHL star, or at least a reliable guy that makes it and sticks in the NHL. And looking at this roster of these 4 guys that I talked about, maybe they more, nobody's really just a big name here. I'd say Tanner Jeannot probably the most out of the bunch, but you kind of look at where they're all at. They really have something to prove into October. And we look at Nashville historically. When have they had a whole bunch of sexy players or sexy teammates? I'm dying out here. When have they had a whole bunch of sexy names on the roster and flashy players? There we go. I do apologize. This is cracking me up here as I got a little brain fumble there. But yeah, they have been a team that has had to work for it and earn it and not had a biggest star. They haven't had a bunch of guys. I think PK Subban was a guy that I remember a few years ago was probably their biggest name in terms of flash and all that. And I think they're all right with that. Just having guys that get the job done. They have something to prove. They're going to go out there and play. And they're going to go out there and try to get the win instead of a Patrick Kane that, while he's going to go out there and try to get the win, he's going to try to be flashy and be the face of the franchise. So, having said all this, what are my expectations for Nashville this season? Personally, as long as Duchesne and Forsberg can at least have some success from last year, I could see them making the playoffs. You look at 2 other guys that I didn't talk about here, where Nashville I could have talked a lot about, is in that you say Saros and Kevin Lankinen are a duo that could be very, very good. Lankinen, in my opinion, could be a sneaky good pickup this season looking back after the campaign. And if the Preds are able to do something in the playoffs, of course, I made a video about him possibly being the future in net for Chicago 2 years ago. Chicago, not a great team defensively, but in Nashville, I think he might be a little bit better suited. And yeah, the top guys like Roman Josi, Forsberg, and Duchesne might cool off a bit. But like I said, you have Jeannot that could take a step forward, Niederreiter that probably gets you 20 goals on the year. Maybe Trenin takes a step forward, Glass, if he could just do something. I really would love that for him. And I could see them possibly being a team to make the wild card. Don't know about top 3 just yet. It really depends on what Lankinen and Saros gives them in net. Do I see them, though, as a Stanley Cup winning team? No. But who's to say they don't get a run and have a little bit of magic? So that is what I have to say about the Nashville Predators for this season preview. I'm not saying they're sexy players because I was trying to say the sexiest names. Anyway, what are your expectations for the Nashville Predators? Please let me know down below in the comments. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Everybody, please stay safe. Have a great night. And go of hockey, all right. Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.